Shintaro enables us to print client statements, rent statements, and non-rent statements to our tenants in bulk. In this video, we'll have a look at how we print rent statements to our tenants in bulk. To get to the bulk print statement screen, from the home screen, we go into Tenancies and into Bulk Print Statements. This screen is divided into a number of sections. In the middle of the screen here, we have the statement options, the note details, and some additional criteria for the statements, such as the sort order and duplex printing. We'll come back to this shortly. In the main section of the screen, we have a list of all of our tenants. Here we see their name, property, room number, tenancy status, program, manager, the active column to indicate that they are an active tenant, and an email address if they have one. At the top of the screen, we have the system functions. Back in the middle section of the screen, the first thing we need to do is select the type of statement that we want to print. The client statement will show all transactions, including rent charges and other charges such as utilities charges, and this is the statement you would give to a client to show what they owe you. We can print a rent statement, which will only show rent charges and payments, and we can also print a non-rent statement, which will show all non-rent charges and payments. We will leave this selected as the client statement for this demonstration because we're going to send all of our tenants in active arrears their client statement, which we will start from the beginning of the financial year on the 1st of the 7th, 2015. The next field we come to is optional statement text, and this is where we're able to add any text which will appear highlighted on the bottom of the statement. If we drop this list down, we can see that we have a couple of statements that we have set up here through system maintenance and reference tables, which say, please call Shintaro as soon as possible, and please call the office on this number regarding your arrears. We can set up as many default messages as you would like, and for now, we will select please contact the office on this number regarding your arrears. If you don't want to add the optional statement text, just leave this field blank. The next fields are for if we would like to add an optional note type to all of the tenants that we send the statement to. In this instance, we're sending our tenants in arrears their statements, so we'll add the optional note type from this list and we will select Statement. When we select Statement, you'll see that the note title has defaulted to Statement Note and the note text has defaulted to the optional statement text we entered before. We could then add to this, sent statements to all tenants in active arrears, asking to please contact the office, etc. Next we have the statement start date, and this is defaulted to the 1st of the 7th, 2015. This is the date we want because we want to print all of the statements from this financial year, so we will leave this date. If we wanted to send the statements for the calendar year, we would type in the 1st of the 1st, 2015 in this field here. The next two boxes are our printing preferences. The sort order box asks us how we want our statements printed, in order of surname, address, payment book ID, or property name. This is handy if you're sending a lot of statements to tenants and you want them to be grouped by property name. We would select property name from this list. The next box is duplex printing, and if you want your statements to be printed double-sided, we can select double-sided from this list. If you want them single-sided, we leave this as single-sided. Now that we have the statement type selected, we've selected the optional note type, statement start date, and printing preferences, we can select the tenants we wish to print the statements for. This is like a mini search screen where we can sort and filter this list in the usual ways. If we wanted to view all tenants who are in active arrears, we can right-click on any entry with active arrears and select Equals Active Arrears. This has filtered our list to show all tenants in active arrears. We might want to filter this list further by a property name, and we can right-click on any property name, go down to Text Filters, and select Begins With. Here we will type in West to search for our tenants at the property at Westgate 23. We click OK, and we filtered our list to show just those tenants. Clicking Show All at the top here will take us back to the default view. We could filter this screen by Property Manager, and we'll search for all tenants managed by Gary Morris. Another way to search is to click the black arrow in the Manager column, deselect all, and select only Gary Morris. Again, Show All will take us back to the default view. Now, we wanted to filter this screen to tenants who are in active arrears, so again, we right-click on Active Arrears and select Equals Active Arrears. We could pick which tenants we wanted to send the letter to individually by clicking on each of these include boxes on the left-hand side, or if we wanted to select all tenants, we click on the Select All function at the top here. If we want to deselect all, we can click the Select None button. We will click Select All again because we do want to print these statements for these tenants, and when we're happy and ready to print the statements for our selected tenants, we click the Print function, which will send the documents straight to the printer. When we do this, a note will be created on each tenant's tenancy record, with the note title and the text that we selected. Let's have a look at Niles Lofgren's tenancy. And here we see the note has been created with the details of the statement that we printed. Let's get out of this screen and then go back in to refresh the screen. In this column here, we can see if tenants have an email address or not. If we want to show all tenants who do not have an email address, we can click the Non-Email Tenants Only button at the top of the screen. When we click this button, we see that we have 7 tenants in our system with no email address that we've recorded. We might just want to print the statements for these tenants and email all other tenant statements to those with an email address. And we would print statements for these tenants using the same process as before. We would initially select a statement type, and this time we'll select the rent statement. We will add an optional note text saying please continue to make your repayments, which we type in this field. This time we won't add a note, but we will select the statement start date of the 1st of the 1st, 2015. We will select to print these statements in order of property name, and we'll select double-sided printing. We will then select all tenants by clicking the Select All button, and we press Print to print the statements. So now we've printed the statements for all of the tenants without an email address, and in the next e-learning video, we'll have a look at how we bulk email our statements to those tenants with an email address.